Namaste, angels. This is the reading for August 29th, Wednesday, August 29th. So again, this is the feast day. Well, that sounds a little weird, but the day that is recognized as being the day on which John the Baptist was beheaded. One of these women viewers of mine commented on, I guess there was a general reading, that Salome, the young woman who asked for his head on a platter, was a hero for all women. I mean, there are women that are into like Lilith and Lilith too, even Jezebel. So she likely was one of those. I said, I personally, am not represented by her. She doesn't represent me. And I don't see the heroism in senseless murder, but knock yourself out. But anyway, she was into it. She thought it was a cool thing. I think, other than stuff that will probably come up in this reading, like the fact that it is also Michael Jackson's birthday, I think that's it for the 29th, if remembering correctly from the weekly. So let's go into it, beginning with the significant events for that day. And the year 1526, the Battle of Mohawks. Not the Mohawk Indians, M-O-H-A-W-K. This is M-O-H-A-C-S. In a decisive battle, the Hungarian Empire is conquered by the Ottoman Empire, led by Suleiman the Magnificent. See, different Mohawks. 1533, or 66, Francisco Pizarro orders the death of the last Incan king of Peru, Atahualpa. 1825, Portugal recognizes the independence of Brazil. 1842, Great Britain and China signed the Treaty of Nanking that ends the Opium War. 2005, Hurricane Katrina makes its second landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, devastating much of the U.S. Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Florida Panhandle. This kills more than 1,836 people, or 99, and causes over $115 billion in damage. So those of you who've been watching me for a while know that I went into Hurricane Katrina at length. It was a video pretty much just about that and New Orleans, and some of the lyrics of New Orleans rap group and rap producer No Limit Soldiers. Yeah, I think it was probably like a 2-hour long video just about that when I first started, like back in 2016. In any case, I'll just move on. Did you know the seismic sea waves created by Krakatoa eruption create a rise in English Channel 32 hours after the explosion? This happened on August 29th in the year 1883. So 8/11, 9/11. A lot of 11s. Famous birthdays: John Locke, Maurice Maeterlinck, Ingrid Bergman, John McCain, Michael Jackson, and Chris Hadfield. Would you believe Ishi is considered the last Native American to make contact with European Americans and emerges from the wilderness of northeastern California. This happened on August 29th in the year 1911. Famous weddings: 1885, or 11/11. Pulitzer Prize winning American author of Age of Innocence, Edith Jones, 23, marries Edward Teddy Wharton, 36. 1955, Untamed Youth actress Mamie Van Doren, 24, weds trumpeter and actor Ray Anthony, 33. 1964, 46th U.S. Vice President Dick Cheney, 23, weds Lynn Ann Vincent, 23, at the First Presbyterian Church of Casper in Wyoming. How come we've had more vice presidents than presidents? I'm just noticing that. I wasn't aware of that. If Dick Cheney was 46th, we've had 3 since him, no? Okay, moving on. I don't know what that's about. 1968, Norwegian Crown Prince Harald, later known as Harald V, marries Sonja Haraldsen at Oslo Cathedral. 1993, actress Elke Sommer, 52, weds Wolf Wather, 46. Famous deaths: Brigham Young, Ingrid Bergman. So she died on her birthday? Because I think she was among the birthdays, wasn't she? Lee Marvin also died, and Gene Wilder, like Tim. Gene Wilder's real name was Jerome Silberman. He was American and an actor, famous for his collaborations with writer and actor and director Mel Brooks, featuring in Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. He's perhaps best remembered for his portrayal as Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He was born on June 11th in 1933 and was a Gemini from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. He died on August 29th in 2016 at the age of 83 of complication from Alzheimer's disease. Lee Marvin was American and an actor. He's famous for M Squad, The Man Who Shot Valance. So 2 movies, I think. Or 2 TV series. He was born on February 19th, which is my sister's birthday. She's a Pisces. In the year 1924, he too, of course, was a Pisces. The 19th is both the first day of Pisces and the last day of Aquarius, like that's the Cuspians. He was born in New York, USA, and he died on August 29th in 1987 at the age of 63 of a heart attack. August 29th is my other sister's birthday, the day that we're doing. Ingrid Bergman was an actress, and she is famous for Casablanca and Notorious. She was indeed born on August 29th in the year 1915 and was a Virgo from Stockholm, Sweden. She also died on August 29th in 1982 at the age of 67 of stomach cancer. Brigham Young was American and the founder of the Salt Lake City and founder of Salt Lake City and president of the LDS Church. He is famous because he's the leader in the Latter-day Saints movement and a settler of the Western United States. He led the Mormon people to Utah and has been referred to as the American Moses. He founded Salt Lake City and he served as the first governor of Utah Territory. He was born on June 1st in 1801 and was a Gemini from Whittingham, Vermont, USA. He died on August 29th in 1877 at the age of 76 of periodontitis. That, I believe, is gum disease, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Hadfield is an astronaut and Canadian. He's famous because he's an engineer and a former Royal Canadian Air Force fighter pilot. He has flown 2 space shuttles and served as commander of the International Space Station. He was also the first Canadian to walk in space. He was born on August 29th in 1959 and is 58 years old, a Virgo from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. Michael Jackson is American, and he's famous because, well, his profession, they have King of Pop. That's his profession. He's famous because he's one of the most successful and popular entertainers in music history. Jackson began his musical career as a child, performing with his brothers in the Jackson 5 before going solo in 1971. The Jackson 5 had numerous hits, including ABC and I'll Be There. After releasing the commercially successful album Off the Wall in 1979, he released Thriller in 1982, which became the best-selling album of all time with over 65 million copies sold and contains such hits as Billie Jean, Beat It, and the title track. Jackson, who became famous for his choreography and groundbreaking music videos, dominated pop music in the 1980s. Successful albums Bad in 1987 and Dangerous in 1991 followed. The winner of 13 Grammy Awards, Jackson sold more than 350 million records and was one of the most influential entertainers of all time. Jackson's eccentric personal life dominated the latter half of his career, including his financial troubles, changing appearance, and general behavior. In the 1990s and 2000s, he was accused of child sexual abuse, charges which he denied and was acquitted of in 2 highly publicized trials. It was a witch hunt. In 2009, he announced a series of comeback concerts entitled This Is It. Before those concerts could be undertaken, he died at the age of 50 of cardiac arrest, brought on by an accidental overdose of propofol administered by his personal physician. His death led to a global outpouring of grief, and his memorial service was widely watched around the world. He was born on August 29th in 1958 and was a Virgo from Gary, Indiana, USA. He died on June 25th in 2009 at the age of 50. The cause of death was cardiac arrest induced by an overdose of propofol. John McCain was a U.S. Senator since 1987. McCain initially gained fame as a result of his experiences as a prisoner of war in North Vietnam for 5 years between October 1967 and March 1973. In 2008, he was selected as the Republican presidential candidate, forming a ticket with his pick for vice president, Sarah Palin. In the November election, he was defeated by Democrat Barack Obama. McCain gained notability as one of the fiercest critics of his party's eventually successful candidate for president, Donald Trump. He was born on August 29th in 1936 and was a Virgo from Cocosolo, Panama Canal Zone, U.S. unincorporated territory. He died on August 25th in 2018 at the age of 81 of a brain cancer. Ingrid Bergman, we talked about already. Maurice Maeterlinck was Belgian, and he was an author and Nobel laureate. He's famous for Intruder and The Blind. He was born on August 29th in 1862 and was a Virgo from Ghent, Belgium. He died on May 6th in 1949 at the age of 86 of a heart attack. And lastly, John Locke was English and a philosopher. He's regarded as one of the most influential philosophers of Enlightenment thinkers and known as the father of classical liberalism, considered one of the first of the British empiricists following the tradition of Francis Bacon. He is equally important to social contract theory. His great work affected the development of epistemology, and political philosophy. His writings influenced Voltaire and Rousseau, many Scottish Enlightenment thinkers, as well as the American revolutionaries. His contributions to classical republicanism and liberal theory are reflected in the United States Declaration of Independence. He was born on August 29th in 1632 and was a Virgo from Rington, England. He died on October 28th in 1704 at the age of 72, and he was the last of the birthdays. Going to the dice, I am beginning with, it's 50-50. Eat cake. Maybe because it's the King of Pop's birthday. And Dirty Movie. He had a song called Dirty Diana. Maybe we should watch his video. I don't know. Spirit says, try again. Eat cake is staring me in the face, but it's upside down. Cocktail. Maybe we should have a drink. Toast to him. Sex wants to be seen. There it is. But the dice is on massage. The massage and sex, possibly. Going to the cards, it is that Ace of Fire that eluded us the day prior. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. This can be about a relationship of sorts, to a friendship, a romantic relationship. It's something, a new start on something or with something or someone about whom or which you are extremely passionate. And opening 2, more fire energy. It is Major Arcana card number 14, Balance or Temperance in the traditional tarot, which represents the sign of Sagittarius. So there's again that fire. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. This could be Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, sending you the new opportunity based on perhaps your karma. This also brings in the energy of the sign of Aquarius for me, because there's a water bearer on almost every card I've ever seen that is Temperance, Major Arcana card Temperance. Balance. And speaking of balance and the need for 50-50, and the die, our die was also on 50-50. The 10 of fire. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. All right, so it's not 50-50. And that causes stress-related health concerns. That may be particular to the masculine, perhaps. Also opening to that, the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire could be just a representation of the divine masculine in the tarot, but it's also a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, maybe even a Scorpio, or someone of those traits or attributes. Balance. And the 9 of air is back from the day prior. So people not getting enough sleep, not getting enough rest, suffering from insomnia, sleep deprivation, anxiety, upsetness, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights, driving yourself crazy, right? Mental anguish. Balance, that could be the stress-related health concern that we're talking about, and why you need the healing energy to sort of get tempered out, right? That's why temperance comes through. And opening to the 10 of air. So that's the natural progression up from the 9. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You could be even recovering from an addiction. Ten of air. I still have this card here. What in the world is this? The 7 of spring. I put it back in here after discovering it the day before. Okay, I'm taking it out officially now, but let's make note of it. All right, 7 of spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. Who was that? It's another 7. The 7 of earth. Seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action. Unnecessary worry. We've otherwise come to the ace of air. Brilliant new ideas and inspiration. Seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. So it's a new start, but it could be like a rough getting there, and maybe even possibly a rough start ahead. Overall energy is the Dreamer, Major Arcana card 0, also known as the Fool in the traditional tarot. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams that leads to unexpected opportunities. You could be continuing with that air energy of the Ace of Air. The Dreamer, particularly in this deck, represents for me the sign of the planet Mercury and the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which it rules. Two down here. Crowning is Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot. So just like the day before, so far we've already seen 3 of these 7s. An important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition. The Chariot represents the sign of Cancer in the tarot, is about moving and movement. Victory, probably the strongest card in the deck of victory. Modes of transportation, planes, trains, automobiles, vacations. Somebody could be getting a new car or having an issue with the car. Let's see what else is around here. This is interesting. I think this was the clarifier the day before for the Chariot when it was here in the feminine subconscious. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. The moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. Can also, next in order, I mean, it could be any of the water signs. It could be anything, but next in order as far as the water signs go, I'd say Cancer, because Earth's actual moon, the moon, rules the sign of Cancer, and then Scorpio after that, you know. So if we're going to talk about water signs, I'd say in that order. Could definitely be about the need to like release fear that's holding you back from moving forward or moving on, or maybe physically moving to a new place or traveling. Here's the push to do so, perhaps, or the opportunity to do so. The Page of Fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. The Page of Fire represents for me the sign of Sagittarius, but can be a Leo, Aries, maybe even a Scorpio, or any one of these traits or attributes. Here's another 7, crowning the feminine. It's the 7 of fire yet again. So we had this one that slipped into the deck that I forgot to remove the day before. I guess I wasn't meant to. And here is a second 7 of fire. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. So both days they showed up for the feminine too. I think is important to take note of as well. Surrounding the feminine, the King of Fire, which I think was crowning her the day before. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. Like the Page, the King is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Someone likened to those traits or attributes. Possibly a Scorpio, and can also be a representation of the Divine Masculine in the Tarot. In the feminine subconscious, it is Major Arcana card Strength, which represents the sign of Leo. Perhaps that's who this King of Fire is. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Crowning, it is the 6 of Fire. Victory. And it sits right next to the Chariot, which I just said was like probably the strongest card of victory in the tarot. So it's like victory upon victory. Good news is on its way. Maybe by way of a Page of Fire, right? Pages bring news. The Page of Fire, or Wands, brings news of an opportunity. Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. So it can be an opportunity that causes you to be like on a stage, you know, or in the presence of others. Making me a table in the presence of my enemies. Could be something like that. At the root, 2 cards. Also, both of the Suit of Fire. And speaking of moving, one of them is the 4 of Fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project. The 4 of Fire can absolutely be about a home and moving. But it's also sort of like a home is where the heart is sort of card. It can be about commitment, maybe even marriage. Whatever makes you feel joy, peace, contentment, happy. That's what the 4 of Fire represents. Coupled with that is the Knight of Fire, is passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Like the Page and the King, the Knight is again a Leo, Sagittarius, maybe an Aries or a Scorpio. The Knight of Fire is like that Prince Charming that's like to the rescue. So here's the opportunity, and then here is someone who helps you to, maybe this is the facilitator, right, who made it possible, or someone who helps you to reach the opportunity so that you don't miss it. This could be your energy going after it. Like, this is important. I got to run after this right now. I don't want to miss out. And it really could apply on either side. Both have this, I mean, the masculine definitely has this energy of possibly moving, if not physically, like metaphorically, and here's the opportunity. The feminine has this, you know, very decisive and action-orientated and leader right? So no nonsense sort of king here, and the decision that she's making and the strength to make it through whatever the situation is. And then, you know, both being crowned by the Six of Fire in this victory. At the heart of the matter, interesting. The Five of Water, things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. So still not being satisfied despite all else that is going your way. Why is that? Money, maybe. The Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging and maybe a new area of study. You know, so there could be some worry, concern. That could be what the fear is attached to here. Or why the strength is necessary here. Let's take another look. Yep, money. Maybe waiting for some sort of lump sum that's supposed to come through, a loan or something, some sort of asset, a credit check, maybe to move or to buy a vehicle. You have to pass some sort of, check, right? Background check or review, maybe for a job also. A very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. So the Ten of Earth can definitely be about lump sums of money. It doesn't have to be, but it can be about lump sums of money. So inheritance or winnings or something, or bonus check, you know, that you finally get, a settlement check that you're finally getting, or something like that. A loan, especially since here it's coupled with the Page of Earth, which is about news of money, but can also be about like going to school and stuff. So it could be like a school loan that you're able to move forward with your life, maybe move into a dorm, especially if you're a younger fire sign or other sign, maybe a Virgo. Definitely something that we're trying to make happen that is dependent, or at least in our minds, on this cash flow that we weren't sure was going to, you know, come to fruition. And so we're being here very, oh, woe is me, and pessimistic and doubtful. And if you remain there, then no, you won't be victorious. And you'll probably, you know, we reap what we sow, we manifest what we think, and what we speak over our lives. Our thoughts become our reality. So you can have this, which is not what you want, or this, if you're able to, you know, maintain your, you know, wits and confidence about yourself. And then that's how you get the new start. Further advice to the masculine, the King of Water, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. So somebody could be giving you some sort of counseling. Maybe they're represented by the Page of Fire or the Page of Earth. They're helping you through this situation. Again, there's a lot of water energy here with the Chariot and the Moon. That can certainly be who the King of Water is, a Cancer, a Pisces, a Scorpio, or someone likened to these traits or attributes. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. So also, whatever this situation is, you know, it does bring joy, as is also indicated by the Four of Fire and the Knight of Fire, particularly the Four. It does bring joy, emotional, you know, fulfillment, happiness. And for the feminine, more money, or more abundance at least. It is Major Arcana card number 10, the Wheel, which also represents fire energy for me, and Jupiter, as I mentioned earlier in the reading. Jupiter, ruler of the sign of Sagittarius, but also connected to the fixed signs such as Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and air sign Aquarius. And when I picked up that air sign Aquarius, underneath it is more air, another court card, the Page of Air, who is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. So this could be sitting here because maybe there had been a delay, or you were worried about a delay, and that's why the 9 of air showed up too, the anxiety, the worry, and that's from where the 5 of water comes. But if we don't do that, if we don't sink into that and we don't slip into that, then all is well on this day. I hope that you guys find this daily reading helpful and that you enjoy it. Namaste, angels.